So let's talk about naming conventions for your campaigns, ad sets, and ads. So basically what we're going to do here, guys, is we just want to be specific enough. And I know it might not seem important at the beginning when you only have, one campaign for maybe one product or something like that. But, you start to get more and more ad sets, because the people who are successful on Facebook, like I always preach, are the people who test the most, who create the most split tests, right? If I'm advertising an entrepreneurship course, I'm going to make one campaign that is targeting Tony Robbins. I'm going to make one campaign that's targeting Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm going to make one campaign that's targeting Bob Proctor, right? All of these people who've kind of, proven themselves and have been around for years and have, a lot of the kind of fame and notoriety as popular entrepreneurs, just, from the chaos of the market. For whatever reason, people who like Gary Vaynerchuk might literally be 10 times more likely to make a purchase from me than people who like Tim Ferriss or than people who like Oprah, right? So, you won't be able to figure that out. And no matter what I think or what you think or what anyone thinks, the only way to know for sure is by testing the market, guys. And how you do that is by creating split tests, and a lot of them. And so, unless you actually name your campaigns and your ad sets kind of correctly from the start and get into that habit, it's going to become very confusing, what you're actually trying to accomplish. And so if we're actually going to run, for example, like a traffic campaign, and we're going to run it for, our brand new top of the line cutting edge Corgi merch, I would say like Corgi t-shirt traffic campaign, and I would say May 2018. And then so once we're inside here, we can actually name our ad set. And we want to be even more specific here because, the campaign contains all of our different ad sets. Like you could have one campaign with 1 million different ad sets, literally, or more. And so we'd name this something like, Corgi, puppy, t-shirt, traffic, and then we'd want to name the actual graphic itself. So this would be like the Core Geek one with the little glasses on our Corgi, Core Geek graphic number 1, if we had multiple of them. And then maybe for this specific ad set, we're going to target males who are 25 through 34, and we target people whose interests include PetSmart and Welsh Corgis. Right, so that is a ridiculously detailed ad set name. But then when you're actually, going to evaluate which ad sets are performing, which ones are getting you, cost per clicks that are $1 versus cost per clicks that are 25 cents, right? Or which ones are getting you cost per purchases that are $3 versus cost per purchases that are $10, right? So obviously you want to optimize and scale the ones that are getting you the lowest cost per purchase, right? Cost of advertising per purchase that you can possibly get. And so if we did this one, right, just to illustrate, so if we did this, it's males 25 through 34. So we just come down here and choose 25 through 34 who are men. We could do even people who speak English. And for interest, we might do PetSmart. You want to make sure that you choose the right PetSmart, right? Employers of PetSmart, schools or universities that are PetSmart, you don't want to choose these two. You want to make sure that you actually choose the interest of PetSmart. And you can tell right here where it says size. So people who go to the PetSmart University, whatever that is, only 2,700. Or people who actually have the employer PetSmart, there's 116,000. Versus people who are interested in PetSmart, and PetSmart products is 4.5 million. So we could choose that one. And then we could also do Welsh Corgi right here, 4.2 million. So people who are interested in this. So, right, so if we look right here, this is our ad set name, and this is it kind of represented actually in the ad. And again, we're going to go through this very, very much more in depth, but I just wanted to show you kind of, how the naming convention of our ad set would actually look when it comes down to, the demographical targeting and the detail targeting. So that is naming conventions. You just want to kind of get in the habit of naming these things early, and I know it's going to seem kind of tedious at first, but once you get in the habit, you're going to thank me when you have 50 or 100 different ad sets running, and you're going to be able to make very, very quick decisions saying to yourself, oh, okay, so the interests that had PetSmart and Welsh Corgis are not performing as well as the interests who like I love Corgis, the page, and some other pet company that I can't think of right now. So let's talk about the ninja methodology. Right, so the ninja methodology basically allows you to, in a very intelligent way, kind of hone down on a ton of different split tests kind of in the most efficient way as you possibly can. So the overall strategy, guys, and how this works is to set up a huge number of shots in the dark, kind of using different images, because the first thing that we want to narrow down is which image is performing the best, right? You never want to just come at an advertising campaign with one image. You generally want, at the minimum 3, but I like to have 5 different kind of high quality images. Maybe one has like a smiling corgi with a little 20% off in the corner, and one is like a video of a bunch of corgis playing. One is, a picture of like a beautiful woman smiling, like holding her corgi puppy. One's like a picture of, a bunch of corgi puppies with their mom. All of these different types of things that kind of would appeal to people who would be interested in corgi t-shirts, and people who would be interested in buying merchandise related to adorable little corgis. And so the first thing that we need to figure out, guys, is which graphic of those 5 is the most kind of effective and efficient at driving what we want, right? Whether it's traffic to our site or add to cart or purchases, obviously, is what most people would want. And so how we do this is, we create one kind of master targeting. And so what we would do is we would say, okay, these are the people that I think, are the most likely to buy. And we can get this information, again, from audience insights, right? I hope you're kind of thinking ahead while I'm talking right now, because I think you're starting to get, how these things all kind of play together and why it's so important to have this base. Hopefully, I promise I'm not just, saying all of this. And so once we kind of narrow down our master list here, where we have, the perfect age that we're guessing, right? Because we don't know, but we're guessing, and we're kind of establishing our best guess up front of the perfect age, the perfect gender, the perfect detailed targeting, the perfect locations, right? So once we kind of have that, we would go ahead to the actual ad itself. And then what we would do is, instead of just a single image, you can actually create up to 6 ads with one image each at no extra charge. And so what you're allowed to do, guys, is you can, Facebook will automatically split test for you, where you can actually create up to 6 ads at once by uploading multiple images. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna upload all of your different images with the same targeting. And then when you do that, what Facebook is gonna be able to figure out for you is what is the most effective image. And once you know what the most effective image is, the market will tell you, guys. It's going to give you a very clear, it's going to be so strange, because you might have a favorite of the 3 or of the 5 or of the 6 or however many that you make. And you might figure out that that's actually the one that performs the worst. And you can't be emotional, right? Don't get tied to your favorite things. Let the market tell you. You might have one that you think is the absolute worst picture, but it's performing by far the best. And you're going to be, we're going to talk about how to tell what ads are performing. We're going to talk about how to optimize and scale later on, I promise. And we're going to talk about all of these hacks that I've figured out through millions and millions of dollars of ad spend. But that is kind of the ninja methodology, guys. You first have to figure out what is the best performing image. Once you have the best performing image, then you can start to split test on other things. And what I mean by that is that you actually split test on interest, for example. And we're going to talk about the ninja way to do that, which is going to be one of the most exciting parts of this entire course. But I'll give you a little hint. It is right here. Instead of creating new ad set, create multiple new ad sets. And we're going to talk about variants. And we're going to talk about the slickest ways to set this all up, guys. But I promise you we will get to that. But first, we got to finish out this solid foundation. I promise it's coming to a close, and we're going to get to the super, super exciting stuff. So that is the ninja methodology. First, we're going to split test on images. Once we know which image for sure performs the best, then we're going to start split testing on interests. We're going to start split testing on demographics, where people are actually located. When we looked up before, I think Montana was the best, was the most interested in corgis state according to Google Trends. We're going to split test on, gender, all of these different things once we have our best image. And it's going to be a super fun experiencing, showing you guys exactly how to split test in the most efficient, in the most effective ways. Because I think a lot of people teach Facebook ads, but they teach it in such a disorganized, kind of chaotic way. It just makes me crazy. I'm going to show you guys from the very start, even though it might be a little bit more complicated than teaching, the very basics. I'm going to teach you guys how to do it right from the very beginning. So that is your kind of tutorial into naming conventions for campaigns and ad sets, and the intro into the ninja methodology, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that one, and let's get to the next.